Hi, my name is Torres, and I'm from New York City. I'm going to show you some of my artwork and then read my artist statement. Our Earth, just like us, is vulnerable. Left alone, it is beautiful, glowing, magnificent. But when we alter it with roads and homes, we destroy its beauty. When we are able to see nature in its unaltered form, we cherish it, knowing that we might not ever be able to see this again. This is similar to how we view each other. The few moments that people catch us vulnerable, when we are not trying to portray our perfect selves, is when we are our most beautiful. However, people have learned to see vulnerability as a negative thing, something that should be avoided. Even when I looked up the word vulnerable in a thesaurus, the synonyms that came up were helpless, powerless, and weak. However, over these past 6 weeks from looking at nature, I have learned that vulnerability is not a negative thing. Being vulnerable in our society is something that we should seek. Vulnerability is what makes us strong, what makes us beautiful, and what makes us unique. Being vulnerable is being willing to say how you feel, the willingness to do something where there are no guarantees, the willingness to put yourself out there for the whole world to see. If we make ourselves vulnerable, we will be able to connect to others. The people who seem invulnerable, who seem perfect, are the people that we tend to push away. These are the people that we put on a pedestal to gaze at and admire. For example, we view celebrities as invulnerable and untouchable, but we do not connect with them. However, if you open yourself up to someone, your connection with them becomes so much stronger. That is how we are able to relate to each other, through knowing one another's vulnerabilities. In this modern era, women are taught to achieve perfection. We are taught that we must look a certain way, hide our vulnerabilities, and put on our best face. We are taught that if we do not match the expectations that the world has set for us, we are second-rate or inferior. We look to Barbie dolls and clothing ads as examples for what we should look like, and then beat ourselves up emotionally and physically if we do not achieve this goal. Instead of hiding our vulnerabilities, we should learn to let them show. We should learn to recognize that perfection does not exist, nor will it ever exist. Once we come to understand that perfection will not bring us happiness, only then will we be able to reach happiness. One of the few ways that we can denounce perfection is letting our vulnerability show. If we are able to become vulnerable, we will then become our happiest, most beautiful selves. When we first talked about vulnerability at CSG, the first image that came to mind, at least for me, was of a woman naked, standing out there for the whole world to see. So I decided to draw it, thinking that it could look really cool. And so I drew her standing out with her arms at her side, letting you see her, because she is okay with you seeing her like this. She is okay, if you see her nude. She is totally fine with that. However, she is not comfortable. Being vulnerable is not a comfortable thing, but it's something that we should learn, something that we should strive for. Her hair is wild because she refuses to tame it. She refuses to slick it down and have it braided out of her side, or just not wild and crazy, because that's what she wants. That is what she has decided for herself, and she is okay if you do not like it. The aura around her represents both power and connection. It is seeping out of her body as if reaching out for someone to connect to. There's one more drawing that I wrote. It says, "I am powerful." The other drawings were supposed to say something along these lines, for example, "I am vulnerable," or "I am enough." However, I never got time to ink the rest of it, so right now I just have this. And yeah, thank you for listening.